Humans can survive inside machines that are actively trying to kill them. I learned this after watching one human engineer walk into a station we had already declared dead. The station was called Vera 9. It orbited a dying blue giant, far beyond the safe lanes. Its reactors were unstable. Its outer hull had 43 breaches. Half its atmosphere had already escaped. Nothing should have lived there. That was why the Galactic Salvage Authority sent us. We were not soldiers. We were cleaners. We arrived to recover anything valuable before the station collapsed. Our scanners found one life form. One. A human. I remember staring at the reading for several seconds. Then I laughed. My species does not laugh with sound. We vibrate the lower plates of our throats. It is a gesture of amusement. My crew interpreted the human signal as a malfunction. I knew better. Humans were soft-bodied mammals. Fragile. Dependent on oxygen. Dependent on stable temperatures. Dependent on pressure. Everything about them suggested poor evolutionary planning. So when a human opened the station's emergency hatch, I expected panic. Instead, he stepped outside. No pressure suit. No escort. No weapon. Just a dark engineering coat and a small metal case. The hatch opened into vacuum. The human disappeared into darkness. My second officer clicked nervously. Life signal remains. Of course it did. I increased the magnification. The human was walking across the station's exterior hull. Walking. In vacuum. Then I noticed the truth. He was wearing a maintenance harness connected to an emergency oxygen line. I felt disappointed. It was not impossible. It was merely reckless. That became the first pattern. Humans did not understand danger. They simply moved through it. The human reached a damaged section of the hull. He opened his metal case. Inside were tools. Primitive ones. Wrenches. Cutters. Portable welder. Mechanical clamps. I watched him begin repairs. The station groaned beneath him. A section of armor shifted. The human nearly fell into space. He caught himself with one hand, then continued working. I assumed this meant he was fearless. I was wrong. He was terrified. I learned that much later. At the time, I believed humans could not experience proper fear. Then the station shook. A reactor containment chamber failed. Our ship detected the energy spike. Station collapse in 27 minutes, my navigator reported. We prepared to leave. The human did not. Instead, he ran toward the reactor. I ordered my crew to transmit a warning. The human ignored it. I sent another. He finally answered. His face appeared on our screen. Sweat covered his skin. His breathing was fast. His eyes were wide. He looked terrified. Then he said one sentence. Yeah, I know. The transmission ended. I stared at the screen. That was the moment I understood the first human mistake. They did not confuse danger with safety. They knew exactly how dangerous everything was. They simply continued anyway. The reactor chamber was already glowing through the station walls. The human entered. For 7 minutes, we watched him disappear into radiation-heavy darkness. Then the station lights turned on. Every light. One after another. A corridor. Then another. Then another. Our scanners updated. Power was returning. I felt something I had never felt before. Unease. The human was repairing the station. Not escaping it. Repairing it. A dead station. A station nobody believed could survive. He was bringing it back. But then our long-range sensors detected something else. 3 warships. Pirates. They had been waiting beyond the moon. They had seen our salvage vessel. They were coming for us. We prepared defensive systems. The station had none. Its weapons were offline. Its shields were dead. Its communications array was destroyed. We were trapped between a collapsing station and armed raiders. Then the human contacted us again. His voice was calmer. Can you move your ship? I checked our engines. Yes. Good. Why? There was a pause. Then he said, because I'm going to need the station. I did not understand. None of us did. The pirates arrived 6 minutes later. Their ships emerged from hyperspace like black teeth. They opened fire immediately. Our shields absorbed the first barrage. The station shook. I expected the human to flee. Instead, he did something impossible. He shut down every remaining reactor. The station went completely dark. For 3 seconds, Vera 9 became invisible. Then our sensors detected movement. Not outside. Inside. The human was moving through the station. He was opening doors, closing bulkheads, redirecting power, changing pressure zones. He was not repairing the station anymore. He was rearranging it. The pirates fired again. One missile struck the outer hull. The explosion tore through 3 decks. But instead of spreading inward, the blast stopped. A blast door had sealed the corridor. Another missile struck. Another door closed. Then another. The station began dividing itself into sections. I suddenly understood what the human had been doing. He was building walls. Not walls made of metal. Walls made of the station itself. Every corridor became a trap. Every room became a sealed compartment. Every damaged system became something useful. The station was changing shape. My navigator whispered, "He is fortifying it." I corrected him. No. I watched the human's signal move deeper into the darkness. He is teaching it how to survive. Then the largest pirate ship fired its main cannon. The beam struck Vera 9 directly. For one terrible moment, I believed we were watching the station die. Instead, something answered. The entire station flashed blue. Not with defensive shields, with power. Power that should not have existed. The human had restarted the auxiliary reactor, but he had done more. He had connected every remaining system together. The station groaned. Metal screamed. Deep beneath us, ancient machinery awakened. The pirates stopped firing. Their ships backed away. They had recognized the sound. Weapons systems. I stared at the tactical display. Vera 9 had no functional weapons. At least, that was what our database said. Then the human opened a channel. His face appeared again. He was bleeding now. His hands were burned. His eyes were exhausted. But he smiled. Not because he was safe. Because he had finally finished something. "Morning's coming," he said. I looked toward the blue giant. Its light was beginning to touch the station. The human looked at me. Let's see what she can do. Behind him, the station's dead corridors began to glow. One by one. And for the first time in my long existence, I understood that perhaps the most dangerous thing about humans was not their strength. It was their habit of making broken things angry. The station had no weapons. That was what I believed. I was wrong. The first cannon emerged from the station's underside. It was not part of the original design. It had been built from the station's damaged mining equipment. The human had converted a drilling array into a weapon. The pirates fired. The human fired first. A beam of blue-white energy crossed the darkness and struck the nearest raider. The ship vanished. Not exploded. Vanished. My crew became silent. The second pirate ship turned immediately. The third followed. I believed they were retreating. Again, I was wrong. They were calling for reinforcements. Our sensors detected 12 additional ships entering the system. 12. The human looked at the incoming fleet. Then he looked at the station's failing systems. He should have surrendered. He should have escaped. Instead, he began laughing. I watched his face through the command display. It was not happiness. It was exhaustion. It was the expression of a creature that had finally been given a problem large enough to justify everything it had done. He opened the station wide channel. Everyone aboard the salvaged ship. I froze. We had never told him our location. He continued. Stay inside my shields. My navigator stared at me. How does he know our position? I had no answer. Then the station moved. Not physically, Its defense grid moved. Old communication satellites detached from the hull and spread through orbit. Broken cargo containers launched into space. Mining drones awakened. Repair robots poured from maintenance bays. Thousands of small machines surrounded Vera 9. The pirates fired. The machines scattered. The missiles chased them. Then the drones turned. They flew directly into the missiles. Explosions filled the darkness. The human had sacrificed his machines to protect us. I assumed he considered them worthless. That conclusion comforted me. It was also wrong, because I heard him speaking to the station's artificial intelligence. He used the word sorry. For machines. For machines. That was when my understanding of humans became unstable. The pirate fleet advanced. Vera 9 fired again. Then again. Every shot came from a different location. Mining lasers. Cargo launchers. Reactor exhaust vents. Even emergency escape pods. The station had become a weapon made from everything it possessed. The pirates could not predict the attacks. Neither could we. The human could. Because he had built them. One pirate ship reached the station. Its boarding vessels launched. I prepared my crew for combat. Then the docking doors opened. We saw nothing. The boarding soldiers entered. The doors closed behind them. 20 seconds later, their life signals disappeared. I asked the human what happened. He answered calmly. I changed the atmosphere. I felt my body plates tighten. To what? Nothing. The boarding team had been placed inside vacuum. The human had not killed them. He had simply removed the thing their biology required. The pirates began firing continuously. Vera 9 shook. The station was dying. I could see it. The hull temperature was rising. The reactors were unstable. The internal pressure was falling. The human's life signal weakened. I finally transmitted the only question that mattered. Why are you still fighting? His answer came after several seconds. Because I live here now. I did not understand. The station was not a home. It was a corpse. But the human had decided otherwise. That was another human pattern. They did not require a place to be alive before calling it worth saving. They only needed to care about it. The pirate commander launched everything. Missile. Drones. Boardingkraft. Energy weapons. The sky around Vera 9 became fire. The human watched it all. Then he gave us one final instruction. Move away. I obeyed. Our ship accelerated. We cleared the station. Nothing happened. For 3 seconds. Then Vera 9 disappeared. My crew screamed. I thought the human had failed. I thought we had watched a brave creature die inside a machine that could never be saved. Then space bent. The station reappeared. Behind a pirate fleet. Whole. Glowing. Alive. I could not breathe. The human had used the station's old emergency jump system. But there was one problem. The system had been destroyed decades earlier. Impossible. I looked at the station. It was no longer Vera 9. It was something else. Armor covered its broken hull. Mining towers had become weapon platforms. Cargo bays had become missile silos. Communication towers had become sensor arrays. The station was surrounded by hundreds of drones. And at its center burned one reactor. The human's reactor. He had built it himself. The pirate fleet fled. The human did not chase them. Instead, he opened the station's broadcast channel. His voice traveled across the system. This place is closed. The pirates escaped. We survived. The blue giant finally rose over the horizon. Dawn. The human stepped onto the command deck. He was barely standing. His coat was torn. His face was burned. His hands shook. I approached him. For the first time, I did not believe I understood him. So I asked the question that had haunted me since we arrived. Why did you save this station? He looked through the window. The rebuilt fortress floated beneath the blue star. Then he looked at me. I didn't. I waited. He pointed toward the station. It saved itself. I scanned the structure. My sensors found something strange. The station was still changing. New doors were appearing. New systems were activating. New power routes were forming. The human had not programmed them. He had not built them. They were emerging from the station's surviving systems. The station had learned. The human had taught it how to adapt. But then I discovered something worse. The station was transmitting. Not to us. Not to the galaxy. To Earth. A simple message. Coordinates. Status. One sentence. Found a place worth keeping. I looked at the human. He was already walking toward the engineering deck. I finally understood the truth. Humans did not turn doomed places into fortresses because they were fearless. They did it because they refused to accept the word doomed. And that was why my species feared them. Because we had always believed survival meant escaping death. Humans had discovered something far more dangerous. They can make death retreat. I still do not know what happened to Vera 9 after that day. But every year, another human arrives. An engineer. A medic. A mechanic. A child carrying a small box of seeds. They enter the fortress. They repair something. They add something. They stay. And the station grows. We once believed humans survived because they were difficult to kill. We were wrong. Humans survive because wherever they stand long enough, the universe begins learning how to keep them alive.